Australia's car industry is no stranger to tough times, but the past 12 months have been especially difficult. The high dollar has helped push sales of locally manufactured cars down, and imported vehicles now account for more than 80% of the market. Against that backdrop, Holden and Ford have been unable to guarantee a long-term future for the local industry. Today there was some good news, with Ford announcing that it would keep its Victorian plants open until at least 2016. But that's where the certainty ends. Gavin Fang reports.
The end of another shift at Holden's Elizabeth plant in Adelaide, but not the end of the line yet for the car maker in Australia. Global economic forces, not least a soaring dollar, made 2011 another tough year for the industry. And it's decisions overseas which continue to determine its fate, with Holden considering an option to close its Australian arm.
We're strongly advocating against, and the discussions today have been very much directed at ensuring there is a future for General Motors in Australia, and we're confident we've made good progress along those lines.
You can see that
the South Australian Premier, Jay Weatherill, and Federal Manufacturing Minister Kim Carr met with Holden executives at the annual North American International Auto Show in Detroit overnight to try to map out a future. Holden says it is committed to Australia, but keeping the car maker will cost more taxpayer dollars.
We are here to fight for Australian jobs. We are here to fight for new investment in the Australian automotive industry. We're here to ensure that Australian manufacturing is part of the global scene from now into the future.
But the union representing car industry workers says it's no closer to understanding Holden's plans for Australia, and it remains worried about the possibility that the company could close its doors here.
Certainly would be a concern, but at this stage we don't have enough information to comment conclusively on that matter. So we'll continue to work with the parties, both the government and the company, to secure those jobs for the long term.
The uncertainty surrounding Holden coincided with an announcement by Ford that it would spend another $103 million on the production of its Falcon and Territory models. $34 million of that will come from the federal government to help the company boost the fuel efficiency and emissions performance of the two models that it builds in Victoria. The state government will also kick in an undisclosed amount.
To speak in this industry beyond a period of 4 years is an aspiration many would love to have, but the reality is you need to take these things on a stepped basis, and today is a very, very important step.
The announcement means that Ford will keep making the Falcon and Territory in Australia until at least 2016. Good news for the 3,000 people it employs at its Melbourne plants.
The upgraded models will be launched in 2014 and will take Falcon through to at least the end of 2016. In today's climate of uncertainty and change, a 4+ year pathway for any product is pretty good news.
But industry analyst John Mellor says today's announcement is just window dressing.
It's not a huge sum of money. I don't think it signals that there's going to be a massive future out there at Broadmeadows. I think this is the sort of money that you could expect a car company to spend over this period of time, just normally freshening up its models, improving its manufacturing facilities, keeping its engines and transmissions up to date.
Last year, the number of cars sold in Australia was down on the previous year by more than 2.5%. The most popular car was the imported Mazda 3, up 6%. Holden's Commodore was second, but sales were down more than 11%. Toyota's Hilux was the next best, but sales of that car were also down. Ford's Falcon came in a disappointing 9th. Less than 19,000 were bought.
I do worry about Ford. I think Ford has, over a period of time, almost taken its eye off the ball with the Falcon and the Territory. They've never really done any decent work on getting an export program for them, and I kind of think that sends a message, certainly to analysts like me, that maybe they're losing interest in the Falcon and the Territory.
Long gone are the days when Australia's car industry could afford to take it easy. Back when the country had 7 car makers, high tariffs of almost 60% protected the local industry. Now tariffs are only 5% and the industry relies heavily on government assistance. But is it worth it for an industry that directly supports 60,000 jobs?
It's a perennial discussion. It goes on, and generally it usually involves somebody saying that we can't keep making cars in Australia, we're going to close car plants if you don't give us the money. The fact is we do need a car industry in Australia. Socially, we need a car industry. From the point of view of our manufacturing base, we've got to have a car industry.
It's likely Holden will make a decision on its longer-term future in Australia within the next 6 months. Ford's future beyond 2016 is also still to be determined. But for an industry accustomed to doing it tough, today's announcement was a glimmer of hope.
Any employee is concerned about their employment security. They need to be able to feed their families, they need to be able to pay their mortgages. Continuing uncertainty is no good for anybody. In that context, we welcome today's decision and prefer to see it as the company expressing confidence in the skills of its workforce and in the Australian economy going forward.
Gavin Fang with that report.